Hey guys, welcome back. DeFi, degens, drip, and farm for poverty. I'm your host, Strip Coach, dropping knowledge bombs on all Forex Shark related projects. And in today's video, we got a breakdown on my thoughts on the Send Drip to Tax Vault campaign campaign and challenge that Ray from Bartown Conglomerate put out. I've had a couple of comments in my Telegram chat, as well as DMs, as well as on the videos, asking what are my thoughts on this. So I finally got around to doing a video on it. I saw this when it came out, but since I'm still technically on vacation, I haven't had a chance to record it because getting stuff together out here is more complicated than back home. But I do want to address this because there are some key points to bring up and people are wondering what my thoughts are. So some people ask, are we just exit liquidity if we participate in this? What does it do? What is better, stuff the res or supporting the reservoir or doing this sacrifice? And that's exactly what we're going to get into in this video. So for starters, the initiative that Ray put out. So if you want to get more details on this, you can watch his video. But in short, it's all about us as a community sending drip to the tax vault. Now, if you're not familiar with the tax vault, then we have to kind of start there. So the tax vault is where the actual drip tokens are paid out whenever you claim over here on the Faucet. So remember, this is just a representation of what your position is within the Faucet. But once you hit this from the available and you hit claim, those tokens are coming from the tax vault, which is it shown down here? I know where it is on BSC scan, but I never paid attention to down here. No, it's not actually shown here. So you have to actually come to the tax vault to see where that's at. So if you come to BSC scan, I've already labeled the contract, what it actually is. You can actually see that contract here. When you come to the handy dandy drip wiki and you go to tokens and contracts, you'll see vault right there. And then I've just labeled it on mine so that I can see it whenever I'm looking at the actual drip token contract address. So if I go to drip token, then I have this contract that would show up. Normally it would say OXBFF, but I labeled it as vault. And then you can see the amount of drip tokens in here. So to bring that back, remember when you hit claim, it's coming from this contract, which is the vault. And this is that contract in detail when we look at this one, when we look at the analytics. So what ends up happening if there are not enough tokens in that contract, then the default drip contract will actually mint them. It makes them out of thin air, kind of the way our central bank does. So it creates these tokens to pay you back. And as you can see, from the beginning of January, pretty much the early conception of the animal farm getting launched, we've just been on a decline. And because of that decline and the tokens being minted, so to speak, let's go to 22, it has created a inflationary asset basically for us. So it has deflationary mechanics, but the drip token now is inflationary. And what do I mean by that? Well, that means that, remember, our price is determined by this circulating supply. So even though it's minting tokens, that's only bad when those tokens hit the circulating supply, meaning people are taking those tokens and coming over here to the swap and selling them here, or going over to Pancake Swap and selling them, which ends up in this supply here. But the price, I've showed you guys this multiple times and yet people are still confused. The price is these tokens right here in this circulating supply contract and the total amount of BNB. That is what determines the price. The Pancake Swap DEX is actually only determined by us buying or selling the arbitrage from this price that shows up here. So the real price of the token is always here, and then Pancake Swap is generally within 11% of that because people actually have bots to trade that arbitrage if it grows any higher than that. So anyway, so what we want to do is reduce this if we want to see price appreciation. So when tokens are minted, like we've been seeing here, what happens once they're minted from the vault, this circulating, this number, if it doesn't have enough, it goes up. Then people, because they minted them, that means they put them in their wallet, most of the time they end up selling them. And if they sell them, then this increases our circulating supply, which is why we're sitting at 1 million and some change right here. So the stuff, I'm not sorry, not stuff the res, but the thin drip to tax vault mission that Ray put out is to help replenish this so that drip is no longer being minted. Now, the question comes up is, if we add drip to the tax vault, are we just exit liquidity? And that answer, short answer, is no, because regardless, the contract would print these tokens. Remember, just because you send it to the tax vault, or Forex sends it to the tax vault, or the contract that he just created from the taxes on the animal farm, drip BUSD farm, sends it to the tax vault, doesn't matter. That doesn't do anything for quote unquote exit liquidity. The liquidity is already here and here on PancakeSwap. So the tokens are already there. Whenever someone actually claims them to their wallet, that is, and then they go sell it, the liquidity is already there. So you sending it to the tax vault doesn't add any exit liquidity. I argued, or I didn't argue, but I made the statement that technically all of us are exit liquidity for anyone that got in before the all-time high. So that's just the way the buy low, sell high kind of goes. So if you want to argue that you're exit liquidity, well, you've been exit liquidity since January, myself included, because we've seen nothing but declining prices. So you sending to the tax vault doesn't change anything. The liquidity got added when the hype came in and all of us bought the token at all-time highs or anything above the pump of $50 basically in December, because we're well below that now. So first answer, no, it doesn't add any exit liquidity. What does it actually do? It actually ensures that these tokens are not minted, and that if they're not minted, it doesn't end up in the available faucet supply, which affects our price action. So what this does, or what we need to look at, is the current question that Ray posed is this little poll here of what should be our tax vault for the next 7 days. What should be our goal? And pretty much everybody said 1 million drip. And he broke down the numbers. Basically, it's real simple. If you look at how many players we have, this is technically wallets, right? How many wallets we have in the drip ecosystem, it's 129,860. So if we take that times every person sending, every wallet sending 1 drip a day for 7 days, you end up with 909,000 drip being added to the tax vault. Now, I do agree that 1 million in the tax vault would be a good number, but and I also told somebody that in my chat, but we need to also look at how long that would actually last. So right now, we have an average daily sell volume that you can find on any of the DEX tools, DEX Screener, any of those. You'll see that we sell like 25 to 50 grand on average for like the last 2 to 3 months. And with an average drip price of 70 cents, that's about 53,000 drip tokens that are being sold or have to get created every single day. So if we were to everybody do this for 7 days, this would only give us how many days of runway? 17 days of runway. So I would argue that we need at least 30 days, because we're waiting on some additional utility to be added and kind of get out of Christmas and the new year and tax harvesting, and hopefully drip UI and all that will be out by mid-January like Forex said, but we're waiting for some kind of bullish sentiment. So I would argue that even 2 million would be much, much better, because once that happens, once you have enough tokens in the tax vault to offset the daily claims that people are having, then you can start focusing on what other people want to see, which is some of the community projects, which is burning the tokens. So I've had that question asked as well. Well, why not just burn them? Burning them does nothing, because again, people are going to still claim and they're going to get minted right back. So what we need to focus on for short term is getting that tax vault filled up to a point at which there is enough runway to hopefully have the new utility added, i.e. Scratchy, i.e. Dogs of Fortune, i.e. hitting the bottom of the bear market, marketing kicking in, something else to give us a catalyst. Right now, we've had almost 1 year where no attention has been put onto drip. So if we can reach the end of this year relatively unscathed, less unscathed from where we are now, then we can potentially have a rebound with some positive price action with all the utility eventually being added. So all of this, the drip token, if you look at this right here, the 5 million drip we have in the total supply has been created in 6 months. That's the crazy thing. You go back and watch my video that I did 6 months ago when drip first started minting, we were sitting at 1,014,000. Remember, drip was originally designed to be a 1 million token supply. There is no way to get that back to 1 million if the tax vault doesn't have enough drip in it. Just a quick message, please like, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you don't miss another video. This helps bring brand awareness to the channel as well as all Forex Shark related projects. Thank you. And even here, this is when it first started minting, the tax vault had like 1,000 in it or something like that. And you can see that when you zoom back out to, let's go to May. Basically, you right here is where we were doing fine, and then boom, we hit June. We had 50 in the tax vault June 3rd, and then it's just been a bumpy ride there. So we ended up 5xing the supply since June. So burning tokens, I hope people understand this, will do nothing. So I salute all the projects out there that are trying to help drip, but you have to understand the mechanics. Just blindly doing something does more harm than good, because you're actually rallying people behind a cause that gets them excited, and then nothing positive happens after that. So if you want my personal coaching perspective, the number one goal for short term is to focus on increasing the tax vault as much as possible. Be that from a community-led project like what Barter sounds saying, sacrifice, or be that some utility where drip is being purchased and sent to the tax vault, i.e. if we are able to get the pigpen injections and that 10% of the crowdfunding allocated, or be that from Scratchy or whatever. Something has to happen where we are eventually getting this drip tax vault balance so high that the average daily sell pressure doesn't impact it. And arguably, we would also need a much more bullish sentiment in the crypto market, because just right now we saw this happen where the tax vault went from 226 on December 25th all the way now up to it's actually at 111,000, and that has been from a lot of big buys coming in over the last couple of days after Forex made that injection. So we went from 60 cents to 77 cents, and that helped replenish the tax vault, because remember, part of these buys that are purchased go to the tax vault. So 10% of this 1,800, so that was 180 going to the tax vault. Here was another 500 going to the tax vault. So all of this helped. So it's the bullish sentiment and the community as a whole. So Forex did the injection, and then maybe after Christmas, people wanted to buy in. I don't really know what caused this catalyst, but we went from 62 cents to 77 cents in about 24 hours. And that is due to just a shift in sentiment. So that's why I personally say that the tax vault is more important than the res right now, because what actually helps is people seeing positive price action. When they do that, people buy hype and hopium. So you can see on this chart, we just shot up. So it says 64 cents to 76 cents, so 12 cents. That's nothing to shake a stick at. That is a decent price pump. That is around like 13, 14% or so, I think. Let's check that out. About 14%, I think, price pump. So it's 0.76 divided by 0.64. Oops, 0.64 divided by 0.76. Yeah, so subtract that from 1, you get 16%, right? So that is impressive to see over just a 24-hour period, basically. And that is due to, I guess, the campaign maybe that Raid put out, also Forex's injection, and then also the Stuff the Res campaign. So I'm not negating that, this has definitely helped. We see this on the reservoir, but I think the most important thing that helps market drip is a positive price chart. So to wrap this all up, I personally believe that we need about 2 million in drip, because that gives us, again, about a 30-day runway based off of these numbers. And that should get us into utility. I don't know when Scratchy's coming out yet, but he did say mid-January he'd have some of, I think, the UI at least done. And he also mentioned that he would try to get the initial DAO raise for Scratchy by mid-January. So if we can get 2 million drip in there, then I would say that that is indeed a successful campaign, and that should give us some runway. Now, I told you guys, I believe we have about 30,000 to 40,000 actual wallets. So if we have 40,000 wallets and each person were to do 5 drip a day, let's see, 40,000, 5 a day for 1 week is 35. So that would get us 1.4 million. So basically 5 drip a day for a good 2 weeks per person, because again, I believe, like I said, we don't actually have this many wallets, so looking for this many people to do it, but this is highly unlikely. But each person could definitely afford 5 drip right now at 77 cents. That is what is that, $3.85. So looking at $4 a day, $28, $60 or so. Now, yes, that $60 could go into the reservoir, but here's another reason why I support this better, because what people can actually do, and the goal is to try to get rid of some of this liquid drip. So all of the current campaigns that are being pushed right now by the community wants people to put in more capital. I personally don't think that that's sustainable, and that's not how we should be approaching the drip project if we want to see positive price action. You need to have some kind of community push that has the existing capital you've already injected, because many people are already upside down. So they don't want to put in more money, even though, yes, when there's blood in the street, you're supposed to buy, but it's such a negative sentiment that it's hard to throw more money at it. So what's a better way to get people to support the project without going back into their wallet? That would be why I say using the drip sacrifice to the vault, because you don't have to go into your wallet to do it. You can actually take your drip from your claim that's coming up every day, and it's actually double dipping, because you get hit with the tax when you claim it, and that already goes to the vault, and then you would send it to the vault, and that way it ends up there. So it's not getting sold on the market. It's not actually causing negative price action. Now, if you're going to put in new fresh capital, of course, buying it off the floor can help remove this circulating supply. But the reason I support the drip sacrifice is because it allows people to participate without putting up more capital. And I am against that right now in a bear market. And that's why you don't see me promoting drip to any new people saying, yeah, join my team. I want to see this kind of survive and get through this. And this way you can actually support it with your existing wallet, or if you're one of these people sitting with liquid drip. So I believe everyone can do that and do their own part. And yeah, 5 drip or whatever the case may be, whatever you can afford. And even if it's just you claim one time, like this is my second wallet, maybe you just claim one time and then you send it all at once, you know, versus hitting the tax or gas fees that you have to send daily. But I think that would be a much better long-term solution to this problem, or at least short-term solution to this problem. And then when things return back to positivity, then we can look at more other capital being injected into the reservoir and all that stuff. I think the best time for the reservoir campaign will be when the reservoir layer 2 comes out. So anyway, hopefully that gives you guys my insight on this and it breaks it down. I definitely support any of the projects that support drip. I'm all about that and love seeing the community come up with ideas. But I think this is by far the easiest and best one right now that does not require any additional capital. Yes, it will cost you some gas, but other than that, I think this is the best way to see short-term price positivity in the charts, because it will eventually slow down the bleeding on the vault, which will slow down the bleeding on our circulating supply, which will slow down the bleeding on our negative price action. Now, don't get it twisted. This is a band-aid over a bullet wound. This is not even a tourniquet, but it's a good start. If we get to 2 million in our vault, then we have a tourniquet. So right now it's like just taking some dirt and mud and putting it on there and hoping for the best. But if we get to 2 million in the vault, I think that that could be really positive for the community to see that drip is no longer minting. Then we can even look at campaigns to burn the excess supply. That would be pretty cool. So, all right, that is it for this video. Hope it provided some value. If it did, you guys know the drill. Smash that HO special. Help brother out with a like, comment, subscribe down below. And until next time, lift daily and achieve your impossible. See ya. So let's see. MetaMask taking a while. I'm going to pause, wait for it to come back up.